Look how lost I look, okay? Do you think that I'm just trying to do this for fun?
It's the power source for, well, everything.
I look blankly at her.
You don't use crystals where you come from?
No, we just pollute the... Okay, no. No. Her mouth falls open and she looks at me in bewilderment.
With no crystals, what else do you use to power things?
The remains of things that once lived long ago. We derive our power from the ancient dead. Lots of stuff. I count off my fingers. The sun, water, wind, nuclear fission, fossil fuels like coal or oil. Her eyes widen with each item on my list. She's about to speak, but I'm not finished. Geothermal, waves, tidal, hydrogen.
Okay.
Yeah. She shakes her head incredulously.
You have your own methods of energy. Many methods.
Some underused, and some that should be underused. Anna's eyes sparkle as she falls into a pensive silence. A small smile plays at her lips while she considers what I've said. I might have overwhelmed her a little, but she actually seems interested in all our methods for harnessing energy. Gauntlet. Gesture at glove. Without seeming too suspicious, I try to get a better look at her gauntlet. What was that thing she was doing with it earlier? Leanna noticed me staring and shifts uncomfortably. You could have just asked. Instead of just staring down towards her hand like a creep, you could have been like, so, how does that work exactly? What is it? You know, like a normal person.
Are you okay?
No. Yeah, no, fuck, don't lie. I was just curious about your gauntlet.
Oh, my manipulator?
So the manipulator is something you put in your hand, which could also theoretically be referred to as a manipulator, as you use it to manipulate things. Okay. Sure. Okay, I didn't mean to do that.
All mages have a manipulator. It's how we use energy to interact with the elements around us.
Okay, so does it... Is that like a crystal or something? And then it's maybe like a nexus, and you can use it to like draw in energy, or... Wait, you mean you can cast spells?
I suppose that's one way to phrase it.
Whoa! Can you show me something cool?
Like what?
I don't know. Fireball. Tornado. Cast magic, yes! Cast magic missile. Can you cast magic missile with the darkness? She furrows her brows.
That's not possible.
Oh. Do I need additional pylons, or am I out of fucking, ability points? I looked her straight in the eyes. You're right. She's very clearly confused by my response and is at a loss for words. I listen for the sounds of wildlife as we continue walking. I can hear the usual song of birds and the faint whoosh of wings flapping in the air. Occasionally there's a rustle amid the trees, and I even swat at the bugs buzzing around my eyes. It all feels very familiar, reminding me of home. Leanna clears her throat.
So, you're from USA?
It's like the fucking John Carter from Mars thing. Virginia! No, John Carter. Okay. USA, but yeah.
Which kingdom is that
Hmm.
in?
The north of what? No, it would be its own kingdom, or more like a very tight knit confederation of kingdoms, really. I would have said a bunch of United Kingdoms, but we already have one of those, and it's completely, yeah, it just, I'm not gonna go. How should I phrase this? In the Kingdom of North America is a landmass, dipshit. God, but that does sound very American, though. She frowns and scratches her neck.
I'm a little ashamed to say I'm not familiar with that place. Where is it?
Earth. On Earth?
Earth?
Yes. Okay, time to take a different approach. Let me see if I can explain. Alright, tell me, where are we right now?
In Meadow Hill.
Where is Meadow Hill? And where, yeah, okay. And where is that?
In the Kingdom of Havengard.
And where is Havengard? Yeah.
In the land of Asaria.
And what is that a part of?
Terra, of course.
Why is it always Terra? If you're gonna think of a fantasy name for your, like, well, a name of your fantasy world, don't just use the fucking Latin. Never mind. Okay, so Terra is my Earth. She pauses my words sink in. Then she gasps. You're a lunatic!
Wait, are you not from Terra?
Would seem so. From what I've heard so far, I'm not. She looks concerned.
How did you get here?
I fell asleep. That's what I'm hoping the Mage Academy can tell me.
Right, but I mean, how did you come to Meadow Hill specifically? Do you remember anything before you were in the field?
I think back. I was studying in the library, and I had been extra tired because that's the same day I have my evening class. And I still remember everything about me and my past. Yeah.
Well, at least we know you don't have amnesia.
As far as we know. I mean, if I did forget something, how would I know? I nod. She laughs back into silence, looking thoughtful. I have a lot to think about myself. My head is swimming with everything I've learned so far. Not that there aren't some similarities between Terra and Earth, I've only scratched the surface and all the differences. But I hope the Mage Academy can explain what's going on, and more importantly, how I can get back home. Hi, yes, I didn't forget about you. The pongo flips in front of my eyes, and I carefully scoop him back into place on my head. Whoa, what happened there? Did you slip? Are you embarrassed and that's you saying yes? Is it my imagination or did that poi sound a little sheepish? No, I kind of heard it too. Leanna looks over and
You were
grins.
trying to get a good look at our friend here, weren't you?
Why? I feel a movement on my head as I assume the pongo nods.
Looks like someone got a little adventurous and lost his footing.
Doesn't have feet, but I'm being pedantic again. That's cute. I let out a chuckle as Yana giggles. Once the pongo is secured, we can continue walking. The sun dips in the sky and bathes the tips of the trees in a soft glow. My feet ache and protest with each step I take, and my legs are tight from all the walking. Ooh! Background stuff. I like background stuff. Apples! How the fuck did I get so excited about apples? Ah! A vendor! And a potion seller. Okay. At least it's colorful. It's not just dreary, drab browns and grays and, you know, all that kind of crap. Oh, I didn't read that.
Meadow Hill Village.
Finally, we come to the front of the village. Grins me through the gates. Okay, here we are at Meadow Hill Village. Oh, I think what was that? Notification. No, just the weather. Okay, right. Hurricane may still be blah, blah, blah. Right. Yeah, I know. Fuck off. Here we are, Meadow Hill Village. No, that's why am I reading her lines? She actually speaks in this. I'm just so used to playing visual novels where they don't talk, or if they do, it's not often. I had the time to catch my breath and discreetly rest my burning muscles. Leanna hardly seems affected by the long trek. Yeah, I mean, she's wearing armor and she has a sword, so I guess she'd probably be a bit more physically active. How is this close? Whingy bastard engaged. I thought you said this place was close.
It is. It's only a half a day's walk.
Hungry! Collapses into the dirt. Wait for her to say she's joking, but she's completely serious. How is that not close? I mean, how is that close? We should have just used Obert. Really?
I'm sorry?
I shake my head. Nothing. She cocks her head curiously and then shrugs.
Let's continue. We can rest at the inn tonight.
Is there only going to be one available room with one available bed? That's how the tropes go. I'm not. That's not me being like, ooh, I hope that's what happens. But that's the cliche. It pops up so fucking often. There's a reason that it's a fucking joke. Zip! As she resumes walking, I ignore my screaming legs and follow her. The village is still bustling with people even at this time of day. I suppose they're getting the last errands for nightfall. For the most part, everyone seems to focus on their own tasks. They barely glance at Leanna, when their gazes are drawn to me, they don't look away. In fact, their steps slow and they crane their necks as we pass. They're looking at the blob on your head. Now I know how an animal feels in the zoo. Leanna overhears my muttering and watches the people around us.
It's your clothes. They're very peculiar.
Okay, or that too. What I'm wearing is normal where I'm from. Even though stares were directed at me, Leanna seems equally uncomfortable.
Okay, new plan.
Gotta get our anime protag some cliche anime protag costume. I instinctively pat my back pocket where I keep my wallet. I doubt they'll accept card here or dollars. I don't have any money.
That's okay. I'll take care of it.
Thank you for being so generous. I mean, this sounds kind of patronizing. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's really generous of you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It's understandable given your circumstances.
And I'm glad you're able to see that. I'll pay you back once I can. Good. I almost said that myself. I was hoping you would. Leanna smiles and nods. Well, of course, dipshit. Leanna changes the direction and leads me toward an adjacent street. There are rows of quaint shops lining both sides of the road. Read the signs we walk by. Edward's Apothecary, Blackstone Forge, Dragon Scale Armory. Huh.
What is it?
I was just thinking how convenient it is that everything is in English here.
English?
I should have expected the question based on our previous conversations have gone, but I'm still a little taken aback. It's what we're speaking now.
We're speaking common.
Oh, of course, it's just called common. Fuck off. Why is that a thing? I mean, referring to a commonly spoken language, I guess, as common, like that becoming a cultural colloquialism, sure. But give it an actual name. What is the language that becomes quote-unquote common? What? Leanna pauses in front of a shop and peers inside. Satisfied, she motioned me to follow.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Come on in. We're here.
I step into the shop, and the first thing I notice is the overpoweringly musty smell of leather. Not surprising, considering the walls are lined with different types of leatherware. I better not see any, like, leather with, like, little sewn-on rings on it or some bullshit. Ooh, but more background stuff. Crystals, bottles, vials, crystals, scrolls, little, pyramids. Okay. Chest book. I love detail. I like stuff like this. A hat. I want the hat. Give me the hat. A small elderly man emerges from the back. A pair of round glasses sit on his... Ooh, that's another hat here. There's a big... It's a pointy hat. I want that one. A pair of round glasses sit on his nose as an apron hangs around his neck.
Welcome.
It's green too.
Take a look around.
Well, even the fucking NPCs are fucking, voiced. Jesus. It's even green. I want it. The gold filigree isn't quite my thing, but eh. A smile falters when he notices me. Liana clears her throat.
We're looking for a new wardrobe for my friend here.
Yes, of course.
The shopkeeper blinks back to reality and resumes his pitch.
Well, you've come to the right place. We tan our hides and stitch the pieces ourselves. You won't find any finer quality than here.
This is my favorite store in the... Where are we again? Liana smiles politely and strolls toward the selections. I check out two seemingly identical leather vests, both of which are marked at different prices. I can't really see a difference between the two. Maybe they boost different stats. Hey, Liana. She turns around. Which one of these will increase my... Is this actually going to increase a stat? Or is this just part of the whole, like, confusing fantasy to reality kind of joke? Or defense, strength, dexterity, intelligence, or focus. Shit. Defense, strength, dexterity, or you know what? I always go dex in a lot of games. It's usually dex. I don't really do a whole lot of like. I rarely do like magic builds in RPGs. I mean, I've done them occasionally, but rather than go like straight spellcasters, say in Skyrim, for example, I typically go conjurer, and then just like summon things to do my bidding for me. But I usually like going dex, using weapons that require, speed or maneuverability and then lighter armor. Or using bows and arrows, that kind of thing. Dexterity.
I suppose leather armor will allow for greater range of motion while still providing decent protection.
That's a very good answer, yes, okay. That's the benefit of the armor type. I mean, dexterity. She blinks. So none of these raise any stats. Why is it occasional? What the fuck is wrong with my computer? Then it gives me a weird look.
Do your clothes where you come from raise stats?
Figuratively speaking, perhaps. Only if you consider cool points to be a stat. Wasn't there a fucking game? Oh god, I never played it myself. It's like The World Ends With You, where like your fashion sense was like really important or something. Again, I never played it myself. That might not even be the right name or the right game, but that's what I dredged up from the back of my memory. She looks just as confused as before. Never mind. Click. She smiles as we continue perusing. One by one, Leanne and I pick out my new outfit. Once all the pieces have been chosen, she goes to haggle with the shopkeeper. I tune out of their discussion and watch the people passing by. Their clothing are simple in design, meant to be more functional than aesthetic. To my surprise, everybody walks around armed. The village doesn't seem dangerous, but looks to be deceiving. I mean, it's a fantasy setting. I think, I don't know, like, it's always been like a weird thing in different cultures, and then of course throughout different time periods. Like, in certain places, your typical, you know, just common civilian might have been allowed to carry some kind of weapon, but there were certain kinds that were only permitted to soldiers or nobility, which is where I think like the Kriegmesser, I think, came into play. Because it technically was a knife, but they could make them the size of just like long swords. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I seem to recall. Again, I'm just kind of pulling this stuff out from the back of my mind.
Why don't you get changed now? There's a space in the back to give you some privacy.
Thank God. What's in the bottle here, by the way? I can't tell if that's like a snake or a lizard or some kind of weird looking like root. I know how to take the clothes from her. Once I've ensured privacy, I quickly get changed. Rustle, rustle. Luckily, these clothes have pockets, and I can just transfer everything over. I palm my wallet, deck of cards, and loose change. You carrying a deck of cards with you? I mean, okay, I've carried random shit before around too, so maybe he likes playing cards. And loose change. Next is my phone. I try to turn it on just to see if it will work, but it doesn't react. The battery must be dead. Good. Because I was like, I swear to God, if this in any way turns into another world with my smartphone, I'm turning the game off. Just, I get the feeling they don't have wall chargers here. Shrugging it off, I slip my phone into my pocket too. Unless that was just like a fucking like joke towards that particular show, because yeah. When I emerge, Anna gives me a once-over. How do I look? She grins and nods in satisfaction.
Wow, look at you, just like a native. This look suits you.
You didn't dress me up in something stupid looking, did you? I'm at your grin. Thanks.
Let's go find the inn now.
Hey, pretty girl gave me compliment. Let's go find the inn now. She heads out of the shop when I follow her. Actually, maybe we can stop by the armory? She pauses and looks curiously at me.
Armory? You want to get a weapon?
Everyone else has one. I'm feeling left out. Her question's careful, cautious. Understandable, yes. That's completely logical. The goal is to blend in, right? It's weird that a person wearing leather armor is traveling unarmed. I look like a hostage or something.
You do have a point. Plus, it could come in handy.
You could also point out that you see armed people walking around. It's like, well, I mean, they are. So maybe it would be a good idea for me to have some kind of way to defend myself. Even though some random fucker from the US probably isn't going to have any kind of serious combat knowledge, especially with a melee weapon. Apart from just hold and swing. You know, unless on the off chance that this random person who somehow got teleported to a fantasy world happened to have been involved in like HEMA or something. Why do I not like the sound of that? No. Again, although her voice holds no hostility, I can sense her caution. I have practiced kendo competitively. Of fucking course you did. She blinks. The type of sword fighting where I come from.
I see.
Leanna falls silent as she gazes out to the streets. After an extended pause, she nods. I think it would have been more interesting if the character had no experience at all, and that was kind of something they had to learn to do was fight as the time went on, rather than just, yeah, I know how to use a sword because we head to the forge where rows of blades ranging from long swords to short daggers hang from the wall. Oh my god, guns, give me a gun, give me a gun, give me a gun. Typically, if a fantasy game allows gunplay, I also try that out. Just because. You know, especially, well, then again, I can't really think of any fantasy games apart from, say, like Pillars of Eternity, where, like, flintlock is the main thing. Usually in a fantasy-style game where they have guns, it's some kind of magic bullshit or, like, a very basic repeating weapon. Oop. Sorry, I had to take a phone call. Okay. All the blades look fairly plain, but the steel edges glint dangerously amidst the warm glow of the forge. Yeah, also, I was looking at the guns. What else we have here? Whoops. Sorry about that. What in the world is going on here? Alright, we got more crystals. We got some more swords over here. Some more swords over... Even some shields. Alright. So what kind of sword is our character gonna get? Unlike the previous shopkeeper, the metalsmith ignores us as he pounds out a red-hot blade. Sparks jump from the claying metal, reminding me of fireflies. Leon lets me browse the swords. I reach one that catches my eye. As I gently remove it from the shelf, I miscalculate its weight and drop it. There we go. The steel scratches the ground with a sharp screech. The metalsmith pauses in his work to glower a warning. Leanna looks on in shock.
Careful.
Yeah. I quickly right the sword back up and grip it tightly. Leanna now watches me with intrigue.
Is this the first time you've held a sword?
A real one? Probably. I lift, bro. No. Practice ones only, or my... Yeah, no, let's be honest. Nothing on wooden swords. I take a practice swinging and fumble the sword. Luckily, I tighten my grip and get it under control. Leanna looks uneasy. I would too. I swing again and the movement flows naturally. As the sword cuts through the air with a sharp thwing, I can't help but admire how smoothly it slices. This is high quality craftsmanship. Let's go with this one. As before, Leanna discussed with the shopkeeper. When she returns, I strap the sword to my belt. Make one more stop to gather supplies for our travel. By the time we're finished, the sun is set and darkness blankets the sky. The town is aglow with soft lights glinting from within houses and lampposts in the street. As we pass by a lamppost, I peek inside and see a small crystal shining brilliantly. I mean, yeah, okay, they use it for everything, sure. Using the lights to guide as we find the inn. I take a seat at one of the crude tables while Leanna talks to the innkeeper behind the bar. There are scattering over the patrons, mostly men who sit alone, nursing a tankard of what I assume to be ale. Because, I mean, while that's a good guess, it's also, you know, the usual thing. I'm not decrying them for saying ale, because, like I said, that would be the usual thing, probably. But, I mean, there are other kinds of alcoholic beverages that you can serve. I stifle a yawn. Now that I had a chance to sit down, I feel the full weight of my fatigue. Luckily, Leanna returns and hands me a key.
This is your room for the night. It's right next to mine.
Okay, I'm actually glad they didn't go with that trope. That's good. Okay, I would have been just... while it may have been entertaining, it also would have lost me a little bit of respect for the game. Just to shave, you know, a shaving, really. Thanks. She nods.
They should be coming out with our dinner soon. Then we should get to sleep. We have an early start tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. Okay, I'll talk about food as well. I'm hungry. Sorry. Leanna smiles as she sits in the empty stool next to mine. Our meals arrive and I stare at the bowl before me. It's a goopy, thick stew and looks about as appetizing as dog food. But it smells pretty good. Dude, just accept what you can get, alright? What is this?
It's stew.
Yeah. What kind of stew?
Rabbit.
Never had a rabbit before. Had squirrel, had venison. Never had rabbit. A brief image of a cute, fluffy bunny flashed across my eyes. There is also that, yeah.
Is something wrong?
I only eat GMO, all natural, vegan, certified gluten-free, 100% whole grains, no trans fat, grass-fed, no preserved organic pasture meals. I mean, okay, some people do have a gluten allergy, though. That's a legit thing. But yeah, I get the joke. No, that's fucking... Fuck off. Is there normal stew? Nope, all good. I'm all about trying new foods. There you go. Nothing's wrong. This is fine, thanks. I take a tentative bite.
How is it?
Well, I'm actually kind of surprised they're giving me the chance to have an opinion on it. Adequate, different. Let's go with different. It's not what I'm used to.
You don't have stew where you're from?
Maybe not quite like this. No, we do, but not quite like this, yeah. I can tell this is all I'm gonna get, so I should try to keep as much of it down as I can. I hold my grimace to take another bite. By different, I didn't mean bad asshole. Okay, fine. Leanna smiles encouragingly. I finish eating and Leanna cleans her bowl, and the two of us head upstairs. She pauses in front of her room and I stop in front of mine. Night.
Good night.
Surprised bread wasn't a thing, seeing as how bread was such a massive staple. Although it would probably be a darker bread as well. Which, I do prefer dark bread to, like, white bread. It's, like, you know, lower blood sugar, usually. And, also, I just prefer the taste. Although, I prefer, like, say, rye to, pumpernickel? Yeah. I'm gonna enter my room when I hear a small voice. Oh yeah, hi. Looking down to the Pongo back at my feet. Now that I think about it, ever since we entered the village, he's been awfully silent. Have you been following us this whole time, or did you lose us and find us again? The Pongo blinks twice and bounces.
Pongos aren't exactly welcomed everywhere.
Why exactly? Why's that?
Well, they absorb the energy around them, including crystals which are used to light lampposts.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can see how that'd be bad.
I think this guy knew to stay out of sight once we came in here.
Well, he's a smart little buddy, isn't he? What if someone sees him here?
As long as he doesn't stray too close to a crystal, he'll be fine. People only make a fuss when it looks like their crystal might be drained.
Ah, got it. She reaches toward the Pongo.
Do you want to sleep with me tonight?
The Pongo snuggles against my leg. Down a
I
size.
thought as much.
Yeah, why do you sound disappointed? And why do you kind of look a bit miffed about it too? Whatever. She opens the door and flashes me one last smile.
Sleep well.
Yeah, you too. She disappears into her room. I open my door and step through. The Pongo perks up. I'm not kicking him out. I'm not an asshole. Let him in. I step away from the door and the Pongo hops in. No, my room. Punt. Fucking... As I close the door behind him, he continues to hop around the room as if inspecting it. Yawning widely, I collapse onto the bed. The Pongo continues to circle around the room. Looking for a good place to sleep? He suddenly leaps up and lands on my bed. Then he bounces the foot of the bed and wiggles himself a cozy nest by creating a small crater on the top of the blanket. That's adorable. I can't help but grin at the little guy. Good night, Pongo. Okay, that's too cute. Okay. I roll over in bed, and it's not long before I'm fast asleep. If it gets some generic RPG. Okay, I like that. Right. A knock on my door jolts me awake. I sit up straight in the bed and barely notice a tiny yelp as the Pongo tumbles to the floor. Hello? The knocking stops.
It's Leanna. Are you about ready?
I just want 10 more minutes, Mom. I rub my eyes and blink at the feeble rays of light outside. What time is it?
It's past dawn. We need to get a move on if we want to make a good time.
Dawn? The reason anyone should be up at this hour. I recently actually managed to get my schedule back to what I would consider normal, which is like me getting up before the sun comes up. I just prefer that because then it feels like the day's longer. I don't like getting up late because then I just kind of feel slightly depressed and I'm like, the day's over, fuck. Ugh. I don't know why I think like that either. That's just how like, I don't know, that's just my automatic reaction to it. I mean, there was a while like a few years ago where I was up like at night and then slept the entire day through. Yeah, there's no good reason anyone should be up at this hour. I attempt to lay back down on my bed and the knocking starts again. Alright, I'll be there in a minute. The noise stops. I yawn and stretch and notice a Pongo on the floor. What on the floor, buddy? Don't you sleep on the bed? The Pongo wiggles and shoots me an accusatory look. You knocked me off, you piece of shit. I glance at the slight indentation on my pillow and back at the blue mass on the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you off. He looks cautiously at me, then hops up onto the bed and up onto my head. Okay. All is forgiven. He nips my hair and then jiggles. I guess that means he's forgiven me. Good. I push myself up onto my feet and begin getting dressed. Once I've grabbed all my things, I push open the door and nearly collide with Liana. Let's not have a repeat of our introduction in the first place. Whoa!
Are you ready to go?
I guess? Yeah. Liana nods, then leads the way out of the inn. I follow their town as they head north. It's a lot quieter than when we first arrived, as the town gradually begins to wake up. We don't run into too many people in the streets. Although the shops aren't open yet, I can see the shopkeepers busy prepping for the day. Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna end this here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm actually really interested so far. This is a charming and fun little game so far. I'm actually interested to see where this goes. So this might end up being a thing. I may actually stick with this, as opposed to the other games I've been, testing out and ending up, liking, but not really feeling it as something to really do a full series on. This might actually. So, yeah. Again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.